Alright, howdy guys. I decided to record this video just because, well, to be honest with you, I thought it'd be a good idea. But also because, well, let's be honest here. This is not what we wanted to do. So, yeah. I hate to break the news to you guys. I'm not happy with, well, actually, y'all probably don't care, but I'm not happy with the way that the Steelers have decided to do things, at least from the perspective that I'm getting from the media. Also, to the media, screw you, you bunch of dum-dums. I have to say that because they are. Yeah, so let's go over the first thing. Russell Wilson went on the Pat McAfee show, I think yesterday or a couple days ago, depending on when this gets posted. And he said, hey, me and the Steelers are working towards a contract. And I saw that, and I heard that, and I'm like, cool. We're going to waste our time again. And everybody goes, we didn't have an offensive line last year. There was no secondary weapons. Yeah, that's great. But he'll be 36 by the time next season starts, I believe. So, like, we don't need to do a rehashing of Big Ben. And, like, everybody goes like this. We moved on from Ben too quick. Specifically, Derek from the freaking Arthur Moat show. Listen, guy, I get it. You like Big Ben. It was time to move off of him. Like, come on. You can't seriously look at the Steelers fans in the face and be like, yeah, Big Ben was still doing good things at the end of his career. No, he wasn't. Anyway. So, yeah. I personally don't think it's a good move, especially because Russell's probably going to cost us $40 million, because that's the veteran's minimum for him. Meanwhile, Fields would cost us, the highest I saw was $30. So you're going to tell me that you want somebody 10 years older that will diminish. There is no going up. There's only going down now. Diminish from here for $10 million more. That's a solid spend of money. It's like buying an N64 used that's broken, and you know is broken, for $200 when you could buy a modded console that has the same exact games for $100. Yeah, I'm just going to spend the extra $100 because of nostalgia. Like, no. Let's not be dumb about this. Second thing I saw, also going back to Deke from the Arthur Moat show, we should bring in Aaron Rodgers. No. Again. An old that doesn't need to be on the football field. Stop it. Like, seriously. Oh my god. Everybody pisses me off with this. And I support the idea of Fields. I do, just because he's younger and he didn't really have stability at coach in Chicago. He also didn't really have weapons. They finally gave him a weapon his third year of the season. Well, not his third year of the season. Correction. His third year of his career. They finally got him DJ Moore, but nothing else. And that line is still a problem. Granted, our line is a problem too, but we will have people back, and we will have healthy people. So it don't make sense to move off of a young guy who we don't know what his full potential is. And everybody goes like, we do, he's been in the league for 5 years. He's been in the league for 5 years. Behind what? May I ask you that? Behind what? Nothing. That's what he's been behind. Absolutely, positively nothing. Like, come on, people. Give me a break. But, like, everybody goes like this. Well, you bring in an old guy. No matter what, this is what we need to do. We need to get depth at the offensive line. Maybe sign a new guard. Figure that out. Whatever. Bring back James Daniels. Whatever you have to do. Mace McCormick is very good. From what I saw, from what I understand. We have a good center. A stud at center. Zach Frazier was OP. I'm glad we got him. I didn't think he would fall that far. To be honest with you, I thought he would have gone in the first round. But he didn't. So, lucky us. Troy Fontano didn't play a first regular season down, so we can't say that he's bad. Broderick's moving back to his natural position, and everybody goes like, well, they're both left tackles. One has to play right. Yeah, how about the one who was, in essence, a right tackle? People forget that Troy Fontano was a left tackle for a left-handed quarterback, which, from my understanding, would be the same exact idea as a right tackle for a right-handed quarterback. Imagine that. Move Broderick back to left. Move Troy to right. Case closed. We have 2 tackles. I have faith in both of them. Broderick is still getting better. But we need to put him back at his natural-born position. He's a big man. Put him where the big man should be. Get a second wide receiver. Trade for him. Sign somebody. Draft. Whatever. Like, this is not rocket science in that sense. And if you keep Fields and he's not good, guess what next season has? According to everything I've seen, is a stronger quarterback class than this current quarterback class. So, imagine that. We just do a Justin Fields experiment for a year. If he's good, great. We help him out a little bit more with next year's draft pick, and then we have a team. We have a franchise quarterback, and we have a team that's built around that franchise quarterback, and we have somebody good at franchise quarterback. If he's bad, next year's draft class is good apparently, so we just get one then. This is like, in my personal mind, would be the easiest choice for me. Let Russ walk. He doesn't need to be here. Or if you're going to bring him back, you're wasting money. Like, there is no if, ands, or buts about it. You would be wasting money. Like, you can't. Because, like, but from what I understand and from what I saw, from the statistics I saw, the veterans minimum for Russ Wilson would be at least $40 million. We can't do that. That's too much money. So I feel like Fields would be a better option in the sense of keeping money. Then we sign a guy, or we draft him, or one of the two. And if you want brownie points to everybody who's on the train of we need to get draft picks, so we need to move on from people, everybody says Minkah because he's become a liability. And his passer rating has gone up since, being with us. Like, it was like, I think, like, what I saw was like 50. Now it was up to like 124 this past season, QBR. It's not good, but like, I feel like that's not necessarily Minkah being bad. I feel like that's just Minkah not being put within the right scheme or the right play calls being called to help him out. Also, JPJ, fantastic corner. Corey Trice, doing his damnedest to be a good corner. Beanie Bishop, also doing his damnedest. Like, these are guys you can build around on defense. If you want to trade Minkah for like a 3rd round pick because you have faith in one of these guys, maybe moving one of the cornerbacks we have over to like the safety position, or signing a free agent safety, or drafting a safety in the later rounds to see if he can develop, that's okay with me. I am okay with that idea. It's not a bad idea because we can work with that. Same thing with wide receiver. Everybody's like, we should trade Pickens. I'm like, he is kind of diva-esque, but I also agree with the people who are in the camp of we would need to replace him before we trade him. Granted, if the trade involves a replacement for him, I'd be okay with it. Like, I know it's Madden and it's different, but like in my Madden league, I got Marquise Hollywood Brown for George Pickens. Now, granted, this was considering this last season, so technically Marquise Hollywood Brown would be a free agent. I'd be okay with bringing him in. He hasn't, from what I've seen, he hasn't caused any problems. He is injury prone, but he hasn't caused any problems. Also, people are forgetting that, like, we need a number 2. We need somebody who can be a number 2. But we do also have 2 guys on the roster that we haven't seen the full potential of. Calvin Austin is very good. Roman Wilson is very good. We don't know what they can fully do yet. Well, Calvin, we do. Well, we know mostly what Calvin can do. But Roman Wilson didn't play last year. I think people are forgetting that. So, maybe let Roman try and be a wide receiver for us. And stop bouncing him from injury reserve on and off. I don't think he was injury prone. I just think we were lazy about it. Like, and that's what I think we can do. And I don't think we need to trade people away. I think we can get away with it without it. And also, this was a couple days ago. I know that much. This might have been a week ago at this point. But Colin Cowherd, I gotta talk to you for 5 seconds. I know you won't see this, but just straight up, just what goes through your brain? I mean, seriously, I saw the trade that you proposed. No NFL GM is that dumb. Like, seriously, like, oh, we're gonna, you guys should trade TJ Watt and George Pickens for the first overall pick so you can draft Shador Sanders or Cam Ward. No. That would be getting rid of most of the things. TJ Watt is good and needs to be on the team. George Pickens needs to stop being a diva, and then I will be okay with him being on the team. These are very easy things to achieve. Granted, TJ didn't have the year he normally does. But, keyword here, but, when the defensive line is having problems, TJ is the one that people are going to focus on, it's very easy for TJ not to be good. Also, TJ was probably tired. I'm not giving any excuses. I'm just saying to the people who are like, hey, TJ wasn't good this year. Yeah, well, neither was the offense, so the defense had to be out there a lot, so they were tired. It's not an excuse, because Cam Hayward, at 35 years old, had a fantastic season. We love you, Cam. Please don't leave. But, that's the thing. We were down we weren't down big pieces, but we were down pieces that probably would have helped us understand where we currently sit. Now, we currently sit with Troy Fautanu, who we don't know if he's going to be the level that we expect him to be, and if he's not, whatever, this is technically his first season. He only played in preseason games. But let's go down the rabbit hole of what I just suggested. Fields is the starter, Broderick's the left tackle. For Fautanu is the right. We have Pickens as number 1 wide receiver. We get a number 2. I've seen a lot of Cooper Kupp talk and a lot of Chris. Is it Goodwin or Godwin? One of them. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers that had dislocated his ankle. Can't remember what his name is now. Him, Brown, T. Higgins, one of them. We bring them in on free agency. So we got a number 1 and number 2. And then we got a number 3. We can alternate between Calvin and Roman Wilson. We'll do that. Flip-flop a little bit. Or we draft a guy. I've seen Luther Burden fall to us. I've seen the kid out of Ohio State fall to us. One of those. Bring one of them in. Be set there. Keep the defense the same as it was. Give Corey Trice, since this last year was his first full year, let Corey Trice be the second next to JPJ. Let him lock down the number 2. JPJ locks down the number 1. And we go from there. Minka stays as our free safety, and then we have our strong safety. Or we have our 2 safeties, Minka and Deshaun Elliott, I believe. Hopefully he's still there. I think he will be. Then we have our middle linebacker group, which is Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen. Have those 2 be the main guys, and then alternate from there. Like Landon Roberts, he's fantastic. Bring him back if you can. If not, stuff happens. But if you can, bring Landon Roberts back, and then we're set there. Cole Holcomb, I would love to see again, because Cole was fantastic for us. But he missed the second half of last season and all of this season. It would have been great to have him back. So, get that, and then see what we can do. Because, I have faith in Fields. You give him this group, I have faith in him. Because, say that offensive line still isn't where it should be, Fields has this amazing ability that people are discounting because he doesn't, because they don't think it's important. He can run away from trouble. Imagine that. A quarterback can run away from trouble when his offensive line collapses. Oh my god. And to everybody who's Fields ain't it. Are we forgetting the Colts game? We lost that game, but he still did fantastic during that Colts game. He put on a drive to get us back into a winnable position. And I've also seen people say, well, if it's Fields and Russ, I'd prefer Russ because look at who Fields plays and look at who Russ played. Okay. Let's go through who Fields played. Okay, shall we? First game of the season, Falcons. They almost made it to the playoffs. So I don't discount them. Granted, that was Kirk Cousins' Falcons. So, yeah, we'll discount them. So, one negative for Justin. We'll say one negative for Justin. Week 2, the Chargers. Hate beat them. Okay, that was a playoff team. So, I give him credit for that because he did help. He wasn't the factor that beat them, but he was part of the game plan. Broncos. He sure did a lot to beat the Broncos. He sure did a lot to help beat the Broncos. He didn't really turn the ball over. He was doing what he can. So, okay. We'll give him the Broncos. So that was week 3. Week 4. What was week 4? What was it? Because he played 6 weeks. Who was week 4? I don't remember that off the top of my head. Uno minuto. Oh, you guys can hear my chair squeaking. Alright, I'm now prepared again. Alright, so let's go over this. Alright, so we're going to loop back to the Falcons game because I pulled it up. Okay, Fields, 17 for 23, 156 yards. He obviously wasn't the factor there, but he definitely did help. Broncos was week 2. I'm a dum-dum. I thought the Chargers were week 2. No, they're week 3. Fields, 13 for 20, 117 yards, 1 touchdown. Very decent. 8 attempts, 27 rushes for him. 8 rushes, 27 yards for him. Very decent, very decent. Not the factor where we beat them, but he was helpful. Chargers, 25 for 32, 245 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Not terrible. 6 attempts, 6 rushes, 1 touchdown. Against the Chargers. Alright, let's see. So, two teams that were in the playoffs. They didn't win, but they were in the playoffs, so I give them credit. Colts game, 22 out of 34, 312 yards, 1 touchdown, and rushes. He had 10 attempts for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay. And everybody wants to make fun of me. Let's keep going. So that was the Colts game. Dropped one to the Cowboys. I remember this one. Fields, 15 for 27, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. And he ran 6 times and got 27 yards. Okay. Cowboys were not they weren't a contender, so we'll discount that one. Raiders will discount this one too, but he went 14 out of 24, 145 yards, ran 11 times, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay. So Fields played 2 teams that were in the playoffs, 1 team that almost was because of Michael Penix, and he didn't beat them by a lot. He beat the Chargers by 10. He beat the Broncos by 7, and Boswell helped us beat the Falcons by 8. So, normal day in the office. Then we go into Russell's games, and let's see. Let's go stats because I want stats for Fields. So let's go stats for Russell. 16 out of 29. This is the Jets game, by the way. 16 out of 29, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Jets. I'm not discounting the performance, but what I am saying is that it's the Jets. Giants. We beat them 18 to 26. Perfect. He went for 20 out of 28, 278 yards, 1 touchdown. So, again, not playoff caliber team. Commanders, first playoff caliber team that we faced. 28 to 27, we won, so cool. He threw 14 out of 28, 195 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Not bad, not bad. Give it to Russ. That was not terrible. Now the Ravens. Beat them 16 to 18. We beat them because Justin Tucker was not on his A game and Boz was. Russell Wilson threw 23 times out of 36, 205 yards, 1 interception, 0 touchdowns. I'm not going to hold that against him, but we only won because of Boz. We all know that. The Browns game, down in NFL, not a playoff contender. We lost 19 to 24. Russ threw 21 out of 28 times, 270 yards, 1 touchdown. And we lost, not because of him. He did try, but you can't. Oh, here we go. I love this. Okay, so that was the first Browns game. Bengals game. This is the game that everybody will point out to, and I discount it because the Bengals defense was not at full strength, nor were the Bengals really trying. I think this is the last game the Bengals lost, too. Russell, 29 out of 38, 414 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And everybody who goes like this, why aren't you counting that? Like I said, because the Bengals were not at full strength. Browns knew by this time that their season was over. But they did try. We beat them 27 to 14. Russell threw 26 times, completed 15, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not bad, not bad. Alright, now we talk about why I discount Russell. Every single time. Against the Eagles, he threw 14 times. He threw 22 times, completed 14, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. That man, I believe, if I go down to specific stats, that man was sacked a decent amount of times because he could not get away from pressure. Let's see. So we got 2 already. So he got sacked twice, according to this. That's not terrible. But what it also tells me is a lot of checkdowns. Which, with a line like ours, happens. Then we lost to Baltimore, 17 to 34. Russell threw 33 times, completed 22, 217 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I believe that is now 1 interception the past couple games. I'm not going to hold that against it. Whatever. And everybody who goes like, well, Pickens wasn't on the field. I don't care. You need to be able to do things. If you're a good quarterback, you need to be able to do things without, you know, him. Specifically, since we traded for Mike Williams, who is decent but is ignored. All right, Chiefs game. Don't like talking about it, but we're gonna talk about it. We got beat 29-10. He threw 37 times, completed 23, 205 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns, except for a rushing touchdown, which does not nullify my argument that he can't run. He still can't, because he keeps getting hit like a dum-dum. Now, Bengals game, the second Bengals game. We got beat by 2 points, 19-17. That was the last time that the Bengals lost, was when we beat them. Cool. Russell Wilson threw 31 times, completed 17, 148 yards, 1 touchdown. And then the coveted wild card weekend game. Threw 29 times, completed 20, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Very good, very good. From what I heard, Fields didn't do much of anything, but that's because I feel like Fields wasn't given the chance to do anything, because that just seems like the way Mike Tomlin is. I promised a certain person a job. I'm just going to let them keep the job even if they're shitting the bed constantly. And everybody who goes like this, well, Fields doesn't know how to pass deep. Okay, Fields doesn't know how to pass deep. You want to go down that argument? Let's go down that argument. Neither does Russell. From what I saw, Russell's kind of a checkdown merchant. Shocker. And I get it. Our passing game needs help from the run game, and when the run game's nullified, passing game's kind of nullified. I get it. That's fair. You want to know what else is fair? Not blaming the factor that there's no run game on the reason that Russell Wilson is throwing the ball from 2 yards in front of him. And teams have realized that. That's why that last stretch was shit. You lock down Pickens, and Russell has nothing. And you want to know what's funny about that? If Russell has nothing, the whole team has nothing. Do I blame Russell completely for this season's collapse? No. We lost a good offensive lineman who we needed to win games. It happens. I'm not mad. What I will tell you, though, is the idea of bringing back a 35, will be 36-year-old quarterback is not a good idea. We already went through this. I love how Steelers fans have amnesia because Russell kind of was decent. He's showing why he is not a viable option. And everybody goes like this. Oh, they just need a bridge quarterback. Can we stop discounting, like, the fact that Fields could develop into a guy? Like, I'm going to bring him up because nobody talks about him anymore, and it makes me sad. We had Dwayne Haskins on the team. And when Dwayne came in, and from what I saw from Dwayne Haskins, he was decent. And, like, I was like, you know, if Ben retires and we still have Dwayne Haskins, I have a lot of faith in this team behind Dwayne Haskins. Because he could do it. I feel like he could do it. And then the tragedy struck, and I was gut-wrenched because I was like, this human lost his life. And this sucks. Like, no human should lose their life the way that he did. And also, as a football fan's perspective, we didn't get to see his full potential. Like, I feel like he was going to be great. He just needed the chance, and he didn't get the chance. So, I hate to bring him up, and I hate to bring him up in the light I did, but you gotta understand where I'm coming from. these guys I feel like could be good. And I've seen things saying we should trade for Will Levis. I do not completely agree because, granted, he's a reclamation project. We could do that. We could do it. But I also feel like he isn't who we need him to be. Because this league is ran by mobile quarterbacks. So I feel like we should have a mobile quarterback. Will Levis has proven he is not really that. So, and that's why I feel like Fields should get another chance. Where he's not competing with anybody, where he can be his full self, and where Tomlin can look him in the eye and say, you are the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have faith in you. Show me what you can do, and let's prove these doubters wrong. And the reason I want that is because you know how much confidence that gives a quarterback? So much! But you also gotta keep him humble and be like this. I have complete faith in you, but you have to understand, if you put me in a bad spot, I will not hesitate to make a move. I will not hesitate. And if you want to bring in somebody who's not, per se, a big name to be his backup, where it's like, he's not competing with you, but I will put him in. Do it. Go ahead. I don't care. That's fine by me. But you gotta give Fields the idea that it's his job completely. My phone just went off. Don't know if y'all can hear that. It's Brooks' laugh from One Piece. But we need to give Fields the confidence and the idea that we have full faith in him. Which, because I do, and most Steelers fans should, because the way Fields plays. But like, he didn't. I feel like everybody goes like this. Everybody's argument against why Fields shouldn't be the starter is, well, why did they go back to him during the season? Because Tomlin and the team are loyal to a fault. And everybody around me, including a lot of media sources, some media sources I've seen, have the feeling that Tomlin made Russ a promise and then didn't want to break said promise. So he decided that we're going to stick out with the quarterback that's not playing too good and hasn't been doing what we need him to do. Because when the line went completely to crap, I feel like that was when we should have looked at the situation and been like this. Russ is old. He can't move as fast as he once could. Why don't we just leave the young kid in there and then let's have Russ sit on the bench. And if Fields starts having problems, we throw him in. Because Fields was 4-2. And then was pulled because he was 4-2 and because Russ was healthy again. So we went to Russ. And everybody goes like this. Oh, well, we were wrong. Tomlin knows what he's doing. You said that when he was going against the Giants and the Jets. The moment he started playing real teams, he kind of started to shit the bed. We won against the Ravens because Boswell can kick. And Justin Tucker is having a hard time doing that recently. We won against the Commanders because of good overall team play. I gotta pretend like the Commanders game wasn't close. It was by a point. It was extremely close in my mind. We won against the Bengals, who aren't a playoff contender, but give us shit all the time. Because the Bengals were hurt on defense. It's not an excuse, next man up, but also you have to factor in the factor that, hey, this team's missing its best player. Maybe we should cut them some slack. Eagles game, I didn't cut us slack because you shouldn't be that reliant on George Pickens. I get he's the number one guy, and without a number one guy, normally your team's not going to be good. But Calvin Austin, Pat Freiermuth, and Mike Williams have proven to you that you don't need to completely rely on Pickens. You can rely on us. Darnell Washington, he proved that he could do that. Like, all these guys have proved, like, hey, I know he's out, but, like, we can do this. You just gotta get us the ball. And lo and behold, look what happened. Also, Philly's defense is like nuts, so I don't completely blame Russ for that one either. And the Ravens' defense is very good. But, like, you can't drop 5 games in a row, start 6-1, and then drop 5 games, and expect me to still be like, oh, yeah, he can still play at a high level. The only reason that the Baltimore game looked as close as it was is because I have a feeling after the first half, Baltimore kind of was like, it's a rivalry game, but also Baltimore, in the humane side of their heart, was like, wow, it's 21-0. Maybe we should line up a little bit. Then we score 2 touchdowns. We're like, nope, we're not gonna line up. So, like, why does everybody on Russell Wilson say, the man is old, he's getting up there, and like, I don't like to be like, yeah, 36, it's like 35 is old for a quarter. Nobody else is Tom Brady. Like, everybody wants these guys to be like the next Tom Brady. They're not. There's only one Tom, and he's retired, and he's currently helping the Raiders become the next dynasty. Because he has his, from what I saw, he has his hands in the GM decision, the head coach decision, and the quarterback decision. Oh. By the way, I feel like Tom Brady should just be like, I'm going to retire from broadcasting. I'll just be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. But technically, he owns a stake in the team, so he can't do that. He would have to sell his stake. But, like, still. Like, we can be a good football team. And Tomlin needs to lead these men. And everybody who goes, well, Russell should be in the locker room because he's a natural born leader. I don't give 2 shits. Okay? It seemed like a lot of the team liked Fields. And also, Russ is a leader. He is. But when you lose 5 games in a row, you tend to start to lose people. Like, when Russ got swapped in, I saw a quote from George Pickens, and like, George Pickens was happy. He was like, yeah, Russ is in. End of the season. Do you think the offense is going anywhere? George Pickens. Like, how do you lose that much faith in 6 weeks? Oh, yeah, that's right. Or not 6 weeks, 12 weeks. Like, the slow decline of, like, and everybody going to point out the fact that they're going to be like, well, he didn't get the ball. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about the fact that this offense can't seem to do jack shit. Like, I love the idea of, like, Russ was fantastic. Keyword there, was. He's not 26 anymore. He can't do the things he was doing. Like his Super Bowl win, he can't do that stuff no more. And also, Russ needs, from what I saw, a very good defense and a solid run game. Guess what Pittsburgh doesn't have because of the offensive line issues? A decent run game. And a defense that after a while gets tired. So, why don't we give Fields the shot he deserves? And I mean that. And let's see what the kid can do. Because like I said, the worst that happens, he's crap. Okay, we get a quarterback next year. Also, everybody's saying, wait till we see what free agent quarterbacks pop up. Don't just sign him now. The free agent quarterbacks I saw that I would be willing to entertain, Sam Darnold. Oh, you want me to continue the list? That was the list. Like, Kirk Cousins, if he gets cut, Too old for me. Don't like him. He wasn't doing good in Atlanta. Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old. Do I need to say more? He's played like crap the last season. This past season. I'm not going to mention the season before that because that's an Achilles tear. That's not his fault. People are saying we should trade for Geno Smith. You mean the guy who hasn't led the Seahawks to much of anything? Kyler Murray, that's an interesting one. But also, probably wouldn't do it. They'd probably ask too much. Fields, in my mind, is the only decent option we have. Because I feel like Fields can win us games. I should have just live streamed this. I'm already at 40 minutes. And I'm not going to edit any of this because I don't have the energy because I'm using it all yelling at people. Like, I want to know what you guys think. I really do. And like, I hopped on here to record this video just because people are making me mad because they don't seem to get the factor that like there's a reason that a lot of us are against the idea of Russ. That's because he can't go up. Fields has a chance to go up. He's not at his ceiling, no matter how many times people say that he is. Russ hit his ceiling and is now on the way down. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I will read them if there are any. Alright. Peace.